I have to review a bad game. And after going through the majority of my collection, I think I finally found one. BitBoy.
BitBoy is a WiiWare exclusive game by B+, who are known for making Platchin and Nicky Rock'n'Ball, both of which were poorly received.
This paints a very vivid picture of what to expect from BitBoy.
In the game, you control a cube named Cubie.
You get it. You change the E into an I, and in the Poor Literacy's cool book of rules, you change the C into a K, and it becomes an entirely new name. Genius!
You must navigate through a series of increasingly complex mazes in order to rescue his friends. You must also avoid monsters that roam the mazes, though later in the game you are given a limited ability to attack them. And I do mean limited. It doesn't get replenished even after you complete a level. The game's levels are spread across several bit generations, which generally represent game console generations. Each bit generation sees changes in graphics, sound and level design that are intended to invoke the aesthetics of the games from that particular generation. 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 and 128-bit respectively.
You know what? That's a brilliant idea. No, I'm serious. Having a game that starts from when gaming first started to what it is today, that is an A-grade concept right there.
These bit generations are presented in the game as fictional installments of a series of BitBoy games. BitBoy, BitBoy 2, Super BitBoy, BitBoy 3D, BitBoy 64 and BitBoy Wii.
Okay, I've got to admit, that's pretty clever.
The game is played using the Wiimote sideways, or held upright to simulate an arcade joystick.
I see why this control scheme would play homage to arcades, but there's one slight problem. The controls don't work half the fucking time!
More than once I have tried moving Cubie, and he just sits there like a dumbass.
But Sonicguru, you said you could use the Wiimote sideways! But not in the 4-bit generations you can't. You have to use this control method. It's not until the 8-bit onwards you can actually use the other control method.
I've got to mention this now because it's pretty important. B+ stated that they wanted to make a game to spark true retro feelings in all gamers, regardless of age. While the first 3-bit generations feature increasingly detailed 2D graphics, including the use of the authentic NES color palette in BitBoy 2, the latter generations evolve from using simple polygonal shapes and blurry textures to complex models and sharp photorealistic textures to illustrate the evolution of 3-dimensional visuals.
I know you've all heard this before, but I'm going to say it anyway. Graphics do not make a game! Because your game looks nice does not mean you can skip out on improving the gameplay. The core gameplay of BitBoy remains the same throughout, and the only things that improve are the graphics, sound, and level design.
And speaking of the 3D part of the game, it gets worse. This time we have a camera angle that's so close it's frightening, and it doesn't help by the fact that you can't see where you're going. It's a good thing you can change the cameras back to an overhead view so you can see where the enemies and Cubie's friends are. Oh yeah, here's a little nod they included for the 32-bit generation. Loading times. Remember them? Yeah? They're still around, aren't they? Believe me, they haven't got any less tedious.
This is unbearable.
64-bit is no different, but at least they took out those loading screens. And for 128-bit, would you believe it? It's a slight gameplay tweak.
You can now jump! You just flip the Wiimote up and you can jump over small enemies on platforms. Why couldn't you do that earlier? Look, there's 2 buttons on the Wiimote. One could have been used for attack, the other could have been used for jumping. I'm pretty sure the other bit generations included jumping in their games. Why don't they include it when the motion controls are introduced?
Guess what? Yeah, nothing has changed. Same repetitive, boring gameplay. Although the camera is more frustrating because now you have to twist the Wiimote to change the angle. Worst motion control ever.
There. Finally finished. Final thoughts? Well, it's somewhere on the lines of boring, repetitive, annoying, and I can't believe I spent my money on this!
I downloaded this game on the concept alone, and boy do I regret it. That's 500 points I could have spent on getting a decent NES Master System title like Castlevania or Alex Kidd. I have to admit though, I can accept the 4 and 8-bit generations because games were like that back in the day. But 16-bit onwards? Seriously? If this kind of game appeals to you, then more power to you. But for me, I rate this game 1.8 out of 10.